Man, I lay in my bed and I dream every night about being great. And I'm not just talking about being great playing the game of football. I'm talking about being great playing the game of life.
We're at the Levy Center where the student athletes had their annual welcome back meeting, and we were lucky enough to be joined by Hall of Fame NFLer Ronnie Lott. Ronnie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What was kind of your message tonight for the student athletes?
Well, the message is really trying to exhaust life, and I think one of the things that most athletes try to find themselves doing is they exhaust their sport, but they don't exhaust life. And exhausting life means that you're trying to be the best you can be at everything you can be. And then the other thing that I would say is, when you die, what do you stand for? What do people remember you for? And why would they come to your funeral? And if they're going to come to your funeral, if they come, do they respect you for the things that you did? For me, I always felt like if somebody's going to come to my funeral, it's going to be because I stood for something more than just playing the game of football. That I gave back to my community, that I was able to be productive citizen, and so those are the things that I was trying to convey to the kids today.
Well, of course, one time you were a student athlete down at SC. What's one piece of advice that you could give to a student athlete here today that would really stick with that?
Well, the first thing that John Robinson said to me, he says, Ronnie, the thing that you got to remember, you're an athlete, and being an athlete, you can compete harder than anyone that's ever competed. And he said that when you think about your life, that's what got you here. But do you do that in everything else? Do you do it in the classroom? Do you do it when you're with your friends? Do you do it with all the things that you need to do it with? And I said, no. He goes, well, then you're not really a great competitor. Because great competitors compete at everything. They want to be the best at everything. And to me, that advice is so key. And it's so valuable because the one thing that we all have in common is that we got that. Nobody owns that. Nobody owns how to work hard. Nobody owns how to compete. And I know as an athlete, when you know yourself and just knowing your friends, we know how to get it done. And we know how to work. And so if you can get people to compete at a high level, you can do whatever you want in this world.
And at the beginning of your speech, you talked about inspirational speeches. There were times in college and the NFL, you had a lot of different coaches. Is there one coach or one speech that really stands out to you that you've stuck with you through this day?
Oh, there are a number of speeches. When I was in high school, we used to lay in a gym like this, and we used to listen to General Patton. At the end of the Patton movie, and that would get me fired up. And then you had obviously your high school coaches, and of course in college you have guys like John Robinson telling you about the things that you need to do, and how Lynn Swann could climb up to the top of the goalpost and catch a ball because he wanted it so bad. And then of course you could go to the great Bill Walsh. And Bill Walsh was the guy that one day in the locker room in 1984, we're in the Super Bowl, and before the game he's a shadow boxing, and he's shadow boxing, and he goes, I want everybody to be quick. We're going to be like Ali. We're going to hit them before they're ready. We're going to be quicker than them. And we played the Dolphins that day, and we were quicker than them. And we kept hitting them, and we kept hitting them, and we ended up hitting the Super Bowl. So that was an inspiring moment for me. Just knowing Bill and just knowing some of these folks. There's always a way to have somebody motivated, and there's always a way where somebody kind of captures that essence of knowing that they can push you further. And I've been fortunate.
I'll take anybody. Now I can go to bed with that tonight. And I'll live with that every day. And that's why I do what I do every day in the community, because you can't outwork it.
Well, thank you so much for coming out to Santa Clara tonight and talking to the student athletes. I know they loved it. So thanks again. For SantaClaraBroncos.com, I'm John Nash.